Hello, my name is Aaron and welcome to Board Games, Bricks, and Hobbies. On this episode of Versus, we've got Cash and Guns versus Loot and Loaded. I'm going to talk about the similarities and differences as well as which one I think comes out on top. Alright, so let's go over similarities. In both games you are going to get some toy guns. In this game you get black foam pistols. And in this game you get dart blasters that actually fire. They are Nerf compatible as well, so there's that. In both games you are also going to be collecting different sets of cards that are going to score you points at the end. In this game you get money and jewels, things like that, while in this game you collect jewels as well as snake oil and other fun stuff. So in both games you're collecting different sets to score points and hopefully win the game. Now let's talk about what is different. Alright, so differences. First off, there's a difference in the player count. So 4 to 8 players with Cash and Guns, while Loot and Loaded can play 2 to 6. So a few more can play Cash and Guns, and also obviously the theme. Cash and Guns is very much a riff on kind of mobsters. It also plays off of James Bond and other properties, and it's got silly, fun cartoon artwork by the artist of Munchkin. Over here in Loot and Loaded, you've got some unique Western-style art. I think it fits the game well, and it's fairly thematic. The difference is where the guns come into play. In Loot and Loaded, you will use the guns to determine a duel when multiple players select the same location. So there's some simultaneous selection, and then you'll duel if multiple people want the same thing. In Cash and Guns, you just point guns at everyone, and people will get knocked out, people will back down, and you will split the loot accordingly. So very different styles in how they're played. Also, one big difference is player elimination. Cash and Guns has player elimination. That means that a player can die, and they're out for the rest of the game. However, Loot and Loaded, everyone stays in for the whole game, regardless of what happens. So those are the differences. Let's get to the verdict. Alright, so which one do I think is the winner? Well, this may seem like a cop-out, but I think it depends on what you want. If you want a fun, silly party game, you can't really go wrong with Cash and Guns. If you want something that's a bit more strategic, I would go with Loot and Loaded. Again, it depends on what you want. Cash and Guns goes up to 8 players. It makes for a fun, silly party game with lots of backstabbing and bluffing, things like that. Loot and Loaded is a bit more strategic. You have to think a bit about where you want to go, what card you want to take, because the set collection is important when it comes to scoring. And also, there's a bit of a rock, paper, scissors, prisoner's dilemma mechanic when it comes to selecting which weapon you're going to use in a duel. So again, it depends on what game, what style of game you want to play. And I personally think they're both enjoyable. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. They do look similar at first glance, but they're fairly different in how they play out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video. Take care.